Alert, 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 alert. We have imposters, everyone. We have imposters. Come on in, JLR Investigates. Good evening. 2/5/2025. We cover the border. We cover the migrant issue. We cover the protests. We cover everything dealing with the border migrant mass deportations. 4 individuals I'm going to share this evening. 4 knuckleheads. Do not be like these 4 people I'm about to share. We're going to shame them because what they did was horrible. And no one should do what these individuals done whatsoever. We got this guy. See this face? See this? It's like a Eddie Haskell looking dude. South Carolina. Look at this dude. Look at this dude. Don't be like this dude. Wisconsin, New Berlin, Wisconsin. He pretended he was a Border Patrol agent. Impersonated a Border Patrol agent. This guy here, as we just showed, impersonated an ICE agent. Next contestant, this guy. Don't be like this knucklehead. College student, Temple University. Impersonated an ICE agent. Him and his little buddies thought it was cool to go harass people pretending they're ICE. And definitely don't be like this guy right here. Pretending he was an agent too and victimized a female in North Carolina. So you got this guy. You got this guy. You got this guy. And you got this guy. What in the world is going on here, folks? Well, there has been a growing list of individuals who've been arrested around this country for impersonating Border Patrol agents and impersonating ICE agents. And of course, some of them were actually trying to detain migrants themselves. We have a new administration out there that is rounding up people across the country illegally. I don't think they need citizens pretending they're officers to do their jobs. It's just ridiculous. We're going to talk about this evening. We're going to break it down on each and every one of them and what they did. We'll make them famous. We're going to make people famous, and we're going to start with this guy right here. Dude with the tats all over him. A dude that has been in trouble with the law quite a few times. 34-year-old Hank Glembin. Hank. What did Hank do? Y'all want to know what Hank done? Look. So, U.S. Border Patrol impersonation. New Berlin man accused. Arrested. Look at this. Look at this, folks. Coming from Fox 6 Milwaukee, New Berlin, Wisconsin. So what did this guy actually do? U.S. Border Patrol impersonation. It's saying a New Berlin man is accused of posing as a U.S. Border Patrol agent. Prosecutors said he approached police officers in Muskego and New Berlin claiming to be an off-duty agent. To me, this is like stolen valor, right? Oh, Hank. Court filing said he had multiple fraudulent indicators of a Border Patrol agent, including clothing and an ID. He was also armed. Reminds me of those idiot firefighters, those fake firefighters. I'm not even going to say idiot firefighters. I mean idiot fake firefighters from California that were battling the wildfire. Remember them? Remember the fake ones that came to the scene and they were wearing fireman outfits, pretending they were firemen because they wanted to gain access to areas they shouldn't have been, to rob and victimize people. Now, I get it in a sense. I get it. I do get it where there is people around here that might feel like they want to be deputized or want to, what's it called? Cosplay? Cosplay? How do you say that? Cosplay, cosplay? You know what I'm talking about. Like LARP. LARP. How about the words LARPing? There are LARPers out there. that are in the woodwork, that are seeing the mass deportations, and somehow maybe they are in their mind, they feel like they want to get involved and be all they can be and be heroes themselves. But they're not Border Patrol agents. They're not ICE. Let the professionals handle this. This guy here, prosecutors charged 34-year-old Hank Glembin with 2 counts of identity theft and 2 counts of impersonating a peace officer. According to a criminal complaint, and I'm reading this. Now, it's good to get this information out. Hopefully he watches the video. He's a big muscle weightlifter dude. He's on Facebook. I'll show you. JLR looks tired. Yeah, long day. I actually am tired. But we cover true crime 24/7, 365, so we got to get these people out there. There was a few things I wanted to talk about today, but I felt like this should take the forefront this evening before we start a new day tomorrow. According to the criminal complaint, a Muskego police officer was responding to a deer that had been struck when a green Ford pickup truck pulled over at the scene near Racine and Cardinal. The driver, Glembin, asked the officer if she needed assistance. So he's trying to, female officer, hey, my name's Border Patrol Agent Glembin. How can I help you? Can I help you? You need any help? The officer asked Glembin if he was with the Muskego Department of Public Works, per the complaint, and declined Glembin's offer for help. Glembin then said to the officer, so he's trying to flirt with the officer. That's what it seems like, by pretending he's a Border Patrol guy. I'm off duty right now. I'm with Border Patrol. That's what he told the officer. I'm off duty right now. I'm with Border Patrol. Prosecutor said the officer noted Glembin was wearing a black hat with CBP stitched in yellow, and a black jacket, khaki pants, and a green duty vest, and a black duty belt. Elsewhere on his clothing were DHS, CBP, BPA, and Agent H.D. Glembin. He actually stitched Agent Glembin. He's not even Border Patrol agent. What's wrong with this guy? He had a handcuff case and a gun which appeared legitimate affixed to his duty belt. He also had a white light mounted on one shoulder and a red light mounted on his other shoulder. The officer said Glembin pulled out an ID card that read the Department of Homeland Security. This dude's fake. He had ID cards and everything on him. That's pretty wild. And had his own photo on it, according to the court filings. The officer told Glembin that Muskego DPW would get the dead deer, and Glembin then dragged the animal into a ditch unprompted. He wanted to be a hero. He wanted to flirt with the officer. Upon follow-up investigation, prosecutors said police confirmed Glembin's identity and learned his uniform was not consistent with those worn by U.S. Border Patrol agents. What they're saying, the criminal complaint states that a New Berlin police officer had pulled over a Toyota due to a registration near National Fountain Square when a Ford pickup truck pulled in front of the Toyota during a traffic stop. The driver, Glembin, got out and approached the officers. Prosecutors said Glembin was wearing a green tactical vest with a patch that said agent, as well as a black hat with CBP on it. This guy's a strange dude. He's like running around trying to help and assist, pretending he's Border Patrol. He said he just got off duty and asked the officer if he needed help. When Glembin walked away from the officer's squad, the officer noted Border Patrol unit patched on his vest. Berlin police spoke to a Customs and Patrol Protection Special Agent per the complaint, who said Glembin was not a federal agent and the agency was aware of his impersonation. Later that night, police conducted a high-risk stop on his truck near Sun Valley and Sun Slope. Court filing said he had a silver gun holstered on his right hip, and he was taken into custody wearing U.S. Border Patrol baseball cap, green tactical vest with Border Patrol patch, and a black jacket. He also had handcuffs on his belt. So basically, he's a phony. He's a phony that has been in trouble in the law before. According to court records, he was just arrested a year and a half ago for driving while under the influence, driving while intoxicated, has prior histories for disorderly conducts. So he's not the outstanding citizen that he claims he was. He was faking it. Why, though? What do you get out of that? What kind of idiot out there would go and pretend they're an officer to go help another officer, knowing that officer is going to see your badge or your fake badge and your attire and be like, hey, you're law enforcement? Oh, yeah. What an idiot. There is a news report on this I'd like to share with all of you this evening. Come on in. We're going to talk about Mr. Glembin. Glembin, Glembin.
A New Berlin man is accused of impersonating a Border Patrol agent.
Prosecutors say it happened twice in 4 days. Among the charges against Hank Glembin, identity theft and impersonating an officer. Court records say body cameras captured one of the interactions. Investigative reporter James Stratton has that new video tonight.
And James, police are using the suspect's social media post as evidence.
Indiana, including this photo. This is Hank Glembin that they say dressed up as a Border Patrol agent, stopping at two different police scenes, according to police, one in New Berlin, another in Muskego, impersonating an agent to real police officers, even then showing them fake credentials. Muskego police are helping a teen driver who hit a deer late last month when this man pulls up.
Who are you? I'm confused.
The officer confused to see what looks to be a Border Patrol agent at the scene.
I don't think I've ever seen a green vest in Muskego.
The man, later identified as Hank Glembin, shows her an ID card that police say stated Department of Homeland Security with his photo, then helping her pull the deer farther into the ditch. Court records show he asked her about hanging out sometime, which she declined. Later, prosecutors say he showed up to the Muskego Police Department asking for the officer's name. Police questioned if he was a Border Patrol agent, saying his uniform did not match. 4 days later, in New Berlin, police say he pulled up to a traffic stop in that city, asking if they needed help. U.S. Customs and Border Protection told police Glembin is not an agent, and the agency was aware he was impersonating them. Police shared this Facebook post with a caption, quote, "Not afraid to take a stand." New Berlin police later arrested him, saying he had a hat stating U.S. Border Patrol, a green tactical vest with a Border Patrol patch, handcuffs, and a handgun on his hip. A search of his house on West Sun Valley Drive near South Sunny Slope Road late Thursday night resulted in a call to the bomb squad.
We might have a live mortar from the military at the residence.
Police determined they were replicas. Glembin, police say, admitted he wasn't an agent and he created the fake ID online. And tonight, Glembin is currently out on a signature bond due back in Waukesha County Court next week.
So, James, did he tell police why he was doing all of this?
And police say they told him that he was imitating Border Patrol because he wants to be one. One officer that we spoke with today says he's never seen anything like this in his 22-year career.
A lot of details to unfold here, and definitely a story that we're going to continue following. James, thank you.
You know what it was? He was trying to flirt with the female officer, which is very scary because there's actually people out there that actually men that pretend they're officers to try to lure people into cars and whatnot. He was trying to hit on that officer for sure. What do you think? Yes or no? And how does he get out on just a signature bond? Nothing. So this is Guy. Here's your impersonator right here, folks. Here's your impersonator right here. I have the impersonator. Should be him, right? All these tats. Yeah, that looks like the old photo of him, 2024. He must got all these tats on him. Yeah, he got all these tats on him. He got all these tats. I had to make sure I had the right guy because the cover photo had a different guy, but we can see all types of things on here. Or maybe not. Let you decide. Hank Glembin. Look. Hank. Here's Hank. Here's old Hank. Here's Hank. Here's Hank. So this is definitely creepy because the dude was basically pretending he's a workout freak. He's a workout freak. That's according to his Facebook. Yeah, the usual suspects. But he's not the only one we're talking about, because we're going to keep the story going. So remember we're going to be monitoring this guy. Sounds like he's like just wants to flirt with women or be the hero that I don't understand why he would not just apply to be a Border Patrol agent. But guess what? You're not going to be able to do it because he has a extensive criminal record. But it's scary. He's going around pretending he's one. Again, here's his photo here. One more time. Here he is. Here he is. Here he is. Ah, somebody said he did some stuff a couple years ago. He does. So are you guys familiar with this guy? Someone familiar with this guy? Signature bond. Oh, yeah. Court records show he is due for a hearing on February 13th. The court issued a $2,000 signature bond. These judges letting these people out. Slaps on the wrist. Nothing. So let's talk about this guy next. Let's talk about this weirdo. Now, this is a weird case. This is a strange cuckoo bird. They're all creepers, but this one's a strange cuckoo bird. So this guy is identified as 33-year-old Sean Michael Emmrich Johnson, Sullivan's Island, South Carolina. Well, that's where the article's based out of. It looks like Huger, H-U-G-E-R, Huger man. A Huger man who was charged in connection with a confrontation involving a driver last week now faces an additional charge. He faces 2 counts of kidnapping. 2 counts of kidnapping. He was charged with 1 count of felony kidnapping and a misdemeanor charge of impersonating a law enforcement officer, larceny, assault, and battery to the 3rd degree. In a 911 call related to the incident, a caller who police identified as Johnson told dispatchers about a Mexican who doesn't have a driver's license and asked for police to respond to the 2500 block of Ion Avenue. At one point, the dispatcher asked if he was driving or just walking around. What's going on that you know he doesn't have a driver's license, the dispatcher says. He's driving. He doesn't have a driver's license, the caller says. Yeah, and he's illegal. A video shared on social media that was recorded from inside the truck showed Johnson arguing with the driver of a pickup truck. In the video, Johnson asks the driver, whose name police are not releasing, if he is Mexican, and then claims he's going to go back to Mexico. The video also showed Johnson taking the keys out of the driver's ignition and dangling them in front of the driver, telling him he cannot drive and does not have a license. He was pretending he was law enforcement, coming at, I guess, someone in the vehicle that he thought was illegal. I got that video here. It's pretty some wild stuff. It's pretty wild stuff.
You could have hired me, but you got a big old Mexican right here. You don't even speak fucking English, bro. What's wrong with you? They coming. Yeah, for me. For you.
Oh.
Yeah, that's me. You got caught, Mo. Where you from? Mexico? You from Mexico? You're going back to Mexico.
Parky?
No, you cannot drive, bro. You have not a license. You have no license. We're going back. We got the cops coming, bro. If you don't got a driver's license, you can't drive a vehicle. You know that, right? You know, if you don't have a license, you cannot drive a car in the United States. No, it's over. It's over. Hey, Al Chapo.
Ya valí madre, no sé, güey. Dice que la migra.
I'm coming.
Aquí en la Atlantic 20.
Don't be speaking that pig Latin in my fucking country, bro. We speaking that pig Latin here. This is America. We speak English in America. We speak English. English. Habla English? No. Are you mad? You mad? You mad? You upset? This is my job. This is my truck. I own this country. No. They're coming. The cops are coming. He doesn't even have a fucking license. He doesn't have a license. I got his key. I got his key.
It's false imprisonment right there.
You don't even have a fucking driver's license.
Está loco, Es un racista, güey. Lo quitó, güey. Pero estás grabando todo. ¿Estás grabando a mí también? Sí. Fue que estaba llamando a la policía, güey. Sí, pues ahí viene, güey. Estás grabando todo. Graba. Graba todo.
Don't worry about it. He's gonna go to jail. Okay. Have fun.
¿Grabaste todo?
No, yo de último lo grabé, güey.
He literally just harassed these people in their truck, took their keys. Oh, we're gonna shame him. We don't support this behavior whatsoever. It's not the way. It's not the way. Not the way to do it. We don't support vigilante people harassing people like this. Nope. Nope.
¿Grabaste todo? No, güey. Me pasas el video, güey. Estoy grabando.
So the video went viral. So it's pretty much so in court they were saying the kid was mentally ill. I'm just showing the wackadoodles out there and the crazy people out there doing, like, basically harassing people for no reason. Like, nah. This is the guy. This is the guy. And according to, I have an arrest report, by the way, on this guy. The arrest report was released. His name is Sean Michael Johnson. They were landscapers. That's who they were. According to the arrest report, he was harassing landscapers. Crazy. All right, so there is a news report on that. So we'll share that, what's going on with that aspect. Keep awareness of this situation right here.
Thanks for joining us. First at 6, a Hughie man police say harassed Hispanic men in a now viral video is out of jail tonight. At one point in the video, the man appears to take the driver's keys so he couldn't leave. Emily Deanne was there this morning as Sean Michael Emmrich Johnson made his first court appearance.
Sean Michael Emmrich Johnson faces a slew of charges, including felony kidnapping and impersonating an ICE officer. His family was in court and says he faces many mental health challenges.
And he has requests. He's told us that he needs help, and he has tried to get help, but he needs to continue with that therapy.
Johnson's family asked the judge to let their son out of jail so he could seek treatment. Sullivan's Island police say Johnson turned himself in late Friday night. He is charged with felony kidnapping, impersonating a law enforcement officer, larceny, and third-degree assault and battery. The video went viral earlier this week after police say Johnson impersonated an ICE officer.
You got caught, Mo. Where you from? Mexico? You from Mexico? You're going back.
In court, the public defender said Johnson was extremely sorry for his actions. His family says they know he has mental health and alcohol issues and want to help him receive the treatment he needs.
He turned himself in, Your Honor, and I can guarantee he's not going to be a flight risk, and he is not a danger to the community. He lives right down the road from me.
I'm mindful of his need for treatment, but I'm also mindful that the indicia of danger to others is certainly there by those two charges.
The judge said in an effort to help Johnson seek treatment, she would grant him bond. Johnson was given a $20,000 bond for kidnapping, a $10,000 bond for impersonating a law enforcement officer, a nearly $2,000 bond for assault, and a $500 bond for petty larceny. Johnson is expected to appear in court next on March 4th on Sullivan's Island. Working for you, Emily Deanne, News 4.
And this comes amid a crackdown on illegal immigration as part of the Trump administration's new orders. On Friday, Congresswoman Nancy Mace.
Yeah, we don't want to hear about Nancy Mace. We don't want to hear about Nancy Mace. They got off topic on that one. So Mr. Johnson here, he got a bond. The judge was sympathetic, right? What, 20 and 10? 30,000, 10%. Mommy and daddy's going to bail him out, right? Mommy and daddy. Asked the judge, the representative of the Sullivan's Island Police Department asked the judge to restrict him from traveling onto Sullivan's Island as part of his bond conditions. Yeah, some people can be prohibited from going to certain areas on their bond conditions, by the way. Judges have leeway to impose any type of conditions on anyone, basically. I mean, you could challenge it, but where do these whack jobs come from? Where do these whack-a-doodles come from? But there's more, folks. There's more. How about this guy? We're going to talk about this guy right here. This guy. Another incident of pretending they are ICE agents. Him and another co-defendant. Unclear who this guy is. This guy and this guy. This guy is also part of his... they're from Philadelphia. They're from Philadelphia. They impersonated ICE agents themselves. One, he went to Temple. I think this was a former student. They're all nut jobs. Nut jobs. What exactly did they do? Well, let's investigate. According to Fox 29 News, 2 Temple students, one former student, impersonated ICE agent on campus. On campus. 2 people impersonating ICE agents were reported at a business on Temple University's campus. A third person was seen recording them. Student has been taken into custody in connection with the incident. That's him. That's him. Aidan Steigelmann. Aidan Steigelmann, 22. He's only 22. Campus police say people impersonating ICE officers were reported at Insomnia Cookies on Cecil B. Moore Avenue on Saturday night. They were wearing shirts with police and ICE in white lettering on their shirts. One of the suspects was also seen recording the incident. All 3 suspects also attempted to enter Johnson and Hardwick Residential Hall earlier that night, but were denied access. One Temple student has been arrested in connection to the incident and has been placed on suspension. Him, Aidan Steigelmann, is charged with impersonating a public servant. It is deeply troubling and disappointing to know behavior like this reportedly occurred on our campus, Temple police said. On Tuesday, the university announced that all 3 suspects have been identified, 2 current Temple students who are under suspension and 1 former student. The identities of the 2 others have not been released, so we only can shame this guy at this time. Only 1 suspect remains charged at this time. Police say the investigation involving the other 2 suspects is ongoing. The incident occurred just days after a legit ICE raid at a car wash in Philadelphia. ICE responds. ICE responds to this guy right here, to this whole incident. The impersonation of any law enforcement officer is not only dangerous, but illegal, and imposters may be charged under federal law under 18 USC 912. U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement officers and agents are highly trained and dedicated professionals who are sworn to uphold the law, protect the American people, and support U.S. national security. Anyone who suspects they have encountered an imposter is encouraged to contact law enforcement. This one really didn't get much media attention. like that. But I think it's a big deal. Prank gone wrong, idiots, trolling. Still, you can't impersonate people. Now, I have a Border Patrol hat myself, and sometimes I wear it on JLR Investigates, but, I got that at the Halloween, Spirit Halloween, and, I never go around and tell people, hey, I'm ICE. I'm ICE. Let me see some identification. No, you can't do that. People dress up as police officers for costumes and Halloween events and just to play around. But, that's one thing. But to actually go up to people and impersonate that you are law enforcement is a crime. And you can't do that. You can't do that. You can't just say you're law enforcement when you're not. You're going to get in big trouble if you do. So this one made news. Let's listen to this and listen to what was said in this particular clip.
Tonight, 2 people are wanted for allegedly impersonating ICE agents on Temple's campus. And Joanne, police say one of those involved is a Temple student.
That's right. Philadelphia police, right now, the lead agency on this investigation. One student was arrested so far, and there is a newly released surveillance photo of one of the other suspects. Student prank or stunt for social media clicks or whatever it was. Police here and at Temple are calling this a serious crime.
Reports indicate 2 individuals were impersonating U.S. Immigration Enforcement Unit, ICE agents. At first, I didn't think it was real. I thought it was it's kind of crazy because I didn't think something like that would actually happen around here.
No joke here. Philadelphia and University police are calling it a crime. And they arrested Temple University senior 22-year-old Aidan Steigelmann for impersonating an immigration and enforcement officer.
To find out that it was students who were doing something like this really doesn't make a lot of sense with the culture of Temple, and I'd like to say that they are the exception and not the rule for the mindsets that are here on campus.
I can't believe being in Philly, there's so many different kinds of people here, the culture, it was just unexpected, and it was honestly really sad to just see, especially from my background, having immigrant parents.
Police say it all happened Saturday night. Security at a dorm said 2 students wearing shirts emblazoned with police and ICE tried to get into the building. They were denied entry and left. Next, heading to a fast food business on campus. One suspect apparently recorded the interaction.
Not just a small prank, this is something really serious going on right now.
Surveillance cameras nearly everywhere. University police were able to locate one suspect and the SUV they were driving an hour later. After his arrest, Temple University put Steigelmann on interim suspension. Vice President of Public Safety Jen Griffin said, quote, "This behavior and harassment of Temple community members will not be tolerated. And it's deeply troubling and disappointing to know behaviors like this reportedly occurred on our campus."
This whole thing is going crazy right now.
And I just assumed they thought, hey, whatever kind of notoriety I get out of this will outweigh any of the consequences, and I don't think that will be the case, and I hope that's not the case.
All right, well, take a look. Here is a newly released surveillance photo of one of the suspects. You can see a black T-shirt. On one side it says police, on the other side it says ICE. Now, consequences serious for impersonating a federal officer, thousands of dollars in fines possibly, and even jail time if convicted. Anyone with information about the other person you just saw or the other suspects, contact Philadelphia Police or Temple University Police. And I'm sure tonight the parents of those college students are saying, and a lot of people out there are saying, what were they thinking? What were they thinking?
Yeah, I don't think anybody is
We're live at police. No, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Not funny. We're live at police headquarters. Back to you.
All right, Joanne, thank you.
It's not funny. It's not funny. It's not funny because it undermines the actual legitimacy of actual ICE agents, right? And, people going around faking because, they're, to me, I think I think there's a racist element to it. I think these are disturbed individuals that are probably racist. I think it goes beyond just playing games and everything like that. I think they're racist and they just want to harass people and pretend they're ICE and think it's cool to say, hey, you're going to be deported, and they're those type, right? Because, as much as we support deportations. We support it, but we don't, support anyone harassing. Have you guys ever seen me in person while I'm documenting the border ever harass anyone on that border as far as disrespect or say something mockery or say anything bad to anyone to someone's face, or say I've never done anything like that to anyone, even though I disagree with people crossing across the border? I document it. Sometimes I talk and ask them questions, but I do it respectfully, humane wise. Never, ever, ever mocked anyone, and no one should. No one should, regardless if you feel like people should not be in this country, whatever like that. But these people doing this stuff it's stupid. And I hope this doesn't turn into a trend with these punk kids, young kids, harassing people and saying, where's your green card or where's your papers, And I think that might be coming in some communities, where's your paper and stuff like that. And people, in their heads, they think it's cool or funny, or they feel like this will help them become an agent and stuff like that. But Border Patrol agents don't behave that way. Well, most of them. I mean, there's always corrupt police everywhere, right? A few bad apples. It doesn't say the whole agency is bad as, in general. So, we put this guy out there this evening. Hope he's watching. Don't do it again. Don't let yourself down. He's young. I think he'll get another chance in life. Don't see him going to prison for this in Philadelphia, considering that most violent criminals in Philadelphia get a slap on the wrist. But who knows? Who knows? Who knows? Let's talk about this guy. This is a pretty egregious case right here. Not getting much media attention. Not getting much media attention. This says, police arrest Raleigh man accused of impersonating an ICE officer and I don't even want to use the word. SEXUALLY, assaulting a woman. So he impersonated an ICE officer and then SA'd a woman. A Raleigh man by the name of Carl Thomas Bennett. This is Carl Thomas Bennett. Been in trouble a lot all his life. Has been arrested for allegedly impersonating a law enforcement officer to SA a woman, threatening her with deportation if she refused. This is sick. This is sick. This is just as bad as those corrupt officers that pick up prostitutes and then say, I won't arrest you if you take me in the back alley and back of the car and do some egregious things with me. Do you understand what I mean? Do you understand? We don't like to be that graphic on JLR Investigates, but you guys know this is a sicko. This dude needs to be on a registry the rest of his life. This dude actually needs to go to prison. The other ones, I feel like the other guy, the G.I. Joe guy, he's flirting with a girl, acting like an idiot, pretending he's a Border Patrol agent. Should that guy go to prison? I mean, I think he's just like wants to be all you can be. The first guy we showed from Wisconsin, I don't even think that guy should go to prison. Definitely get some sort of probation. The guy in South Carolina, the kid, I'm borderline whether that kid that was sitting there harassing the guy in the vehicle and taking his keys, I'm borderline whether that dude should go to prison, though he reminds me a little bit about Dylan Roof a little bit. He has that Dylan Roof type of vibes in South Carolina. He probably needs some extensive probation to be monitored for at least 10 years. Don't send him in prison 10 years. The guy that we just showed before, this guy here, the guy from Temple University, I don't think that kid should go to prison or anything like that. A kid should, I think if that was a prank, but it's the wrong way to do it, but he shouldn't go to prison. But this guy right here should go to prison for what he did. A man accused of SAing a woman after impersonating a law enforcement officer in Raleigh is in custody. Police charged 37-year-old Carl Thomas Bennett with multiple S crimes and say he threatened to deport the victim if she didn't take part in S acts with him. Yeah, he's a sicko. Police said they located the victim at a Motel 6 around Sunday 9 a.m. Arrest warrant said Bennett threatened to deport the victim if she didn't have, with him, and displayed a business card with a badge on it. WRAL News reached out to U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement, ICE, on the allegations made by Raleigh police officers. This is a kind of perfect storm, what's happening right now, and it's opening up opportunities. This is coming from Nikki Baina, co-director of Sembra, North Carolina. Shared her concerns with what she said is a rise of scams targeting immigrants. This is the kind of perfect storm what's happening right now, and is becoming is opening up opportunities for people who are not doing any kind of law enforcement to take advantage of people in terrible ways. Police didn't specify the race or immigration status of the victim. Probably an illegal immigrant. Probably a legal immigrant. Get this guy's face out there, folks. We're sharing these people. We're sharing these creeps. This dude needs to go to prison. One, he's been in trouble before for multiple burglaries and assaults in the past. I looked at his jacket. He's been in and out of prison. 37 years old. He knows better. And he's a danger to society. Put him on a registration. Give him 20 years. 20 years. 20 piece, right? About 20 years. I think what he did deserves a 20 piece. There's other things going on, folks, not just with these impersonations, but I do want to share, not with just these bozos here. This guy, remember this guy? This guy. Look at his beady eyes. Look at this guy. Look at his eyes. Look at his eyes. This is the one that took the keys out of the car. So you got this guy, G.I. Joe wannabe. Got this dude, the harasser. You got this dude from Temple. He's out of there. He lost his education for a stupid incident. What a moron. And you know what? He probably doesn't even get his money back. I bet you his parents paid for his college. They probably don't even get their money back. They probably took out all these high loans, high interest student loans and things like that, or him himself or whatever like that. What an idiot. And then you got this guy. But there's other things going on, folks, not just with the impersonation and stuff like that. There are fake ICE warrants circulating, fake bulletins saying that ICE are doing raids. It's keeping a lot of the community on edge around the country. I'm going to share a couple news clips about these fake things while we're at the fakeness of this live. And then I'm going to get Magnolia in the chat so we can get her take. But I want to share a few things. This is important to know. We got to keep informed about everything that's going on all levels when it comes to the immigration topic.
It's the latest example of the fear overtaking immigrant communities. A fake video circulating on social media claiming to show an ICE raid at a popular restaurant in West New York. Again, the video is fake, but the damage to that business, very real. New Jersey reporter Anthony Johnson spoke with the owner, who says customers are now afraid to come to his restaurant.
This TikTok video talks about a fake raid that never happened at this location, but has real consequences for the business owners at another location with the same name. La Pupusa Loca is a family business with multiple locations, but this one in West New York has had to bear the brunt of a social media lie.
A lot of the people that saw the video believed it.
Elio's family has owned the restaurant for 35 years, and it has always been popular in the El Salvadorian community.
We're affiliated with the name, so obviously that trauma, that it did scare a lot of people and obviously affected us.
The video got 1.4 million views.
This person, which I felt like was trying to capitalize off of what we were currently going under, this whole situation.
The uncle that owned La Pupusa Loca Dos wanted to retire, and the landlord decided to raise the rent. And so that's why the business shut down.
He was the one that closed it.
Community leaders are disgusted and say everyone must be careful of things they see on social media.
That's why it's important now more than ever to express to our community the importance of getting informed.
Even a social media influencer is upset with the fake video because he believes the medium should be used to enlighten and not spread fear.
I feel like that's more important than be like, hey, you know what, ICE was there and I want you to be scared, because that's what's going to make us make more views.
It's going to be 1546.
Elio says he's seen an 80% drop in customers since the fake TikTok video went viral. But he wants to ensure everyone that ICE has never conducted a raid at any of his family's businesses. In West New York, New Jersey, Anthony Johnson, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
news.
Fake ICE raids at businesses to get people wound up. That's one example. Let me show you something else.
Afra Hassan pulled out her phone to show us two messages she received on Monday. The first, a fake message from an email address posing to be Nash County Public Schools warning parents about ICE raids, and another from the school district letting her know the first message was fake.
This is kind of scary for any parent to receive this.
For her, it feels personal, even targeted, as she herself is an immigrant.
I came here to the United States 24 years ago, and I work on my citizenship, and it just made me think of a lot of people I know they're trying to get their citizenship and how this is going to impact their children's education.
Hassan calls it not only upsetting, but also disruptive.
It is kind of distracting for a parent that who's trying to work or anything.
Now, Nash County Public Schools says they're looking into the source of these messages in conjunction with the Nash County Sheriff's Office. We reached out to the sheriff, who said that the person who sent these could face charges.
Anytime that it's disrupting American people and doing things of that nature, there's going to be consequences with it. And also, a lot of times, it's other school children doing this.
Sheriff Stone also assured us no widespread ICE raids are happening in Nash County. Still, it has even kids on edge, even those who are American citizens but may have immigrant parents like Hassan.
When my son or my daughter or whoever comes to me and they say something about it, I remind them that they're American, first of all. And I say, this is your country and you should not feel that way.
It's like swatting in a hoax. It's like swatting in a hoax. What that is basically parents at schools there were receiving text messages talking about an imminent ICE raid. And, I'm sure parents, have their children at the schools. And if you are here illegally, you're probably running to the school trying to grab your children because you don't know if law enforcement's going to come and grab them. But it was fake. It's to create fear. It's to create fear. It's similar to like in Springfield, Ohio, when we were up there and all those bomb threats were being all over the place. Bomb threats, fake swattings, people saying, oh, they're going to raid a certain place to keep people all types, on edge. It's fear. I mean, I think ICE made it clear that they're not going to go into the schools unless they're chasing down an imminent threat, but they're not going to go in schools and start rounding people up. They got hundreds of thousands of criminals they're going after. So, it's all fear-mongering, but it's stirring the pot. Here's another incident.
In confusion after fake news releases spread on social media. The Post claimed that Milwaukee police are working with immigration and customs enforcement agents to detain people.
Yeah, Stephanie Quirk live in the newsroom now. Steph, the MPA, they're quickly shooting down this rumor.
Yeah, and tonight I spoke with the MPA president who says this is another case of someone trying to stir up fear and divide the community.
I just got in home and then I got a text message saying, hey, what's with this press release?
It was around 9 o'clock Monday night when Milwaukee Police Association President Alexander Ayala says he learned some misinformation involving MPA had been circulating on social media.
Immediately, I knew that it was a false, fake statement that had come out.
When he went to check it out,
somebody copied our letterhead, edited it, and put different logos on it and sent it out.
Ayala says the fake news release implied that Milwaukee police are working with ICE agents.
We have nothing to do with immigration policies or anything like that, neither does the police department.
The MPA quickly dispelled the rumor, but Ayala says this isn't the first time he's seen dangerous false information about immigration enforcement.
People are just trying to create fear or divide.
We're receiving dozens of reports in areas of concern, et cetera, and we are validating these and verifying them as quickly as possible. 99% of them have been false.
Daryl Morin with Forward Latino says it's not just misinformation online.
These imposters are pretending to be members of ICE or customs.
In New Berlin, a man was recently charged for impersonating a Border Patrol officer.
This false information that it really hurts our community as a whole.
As for his message on this,
sadly, there are some bad actors out there.
Now, MPA wants people to be careful about what they share online, and if you have a concern, Forward Latino says you can report it to their organization. In the newsroom, Stephanie Quirk, Fox 6 News.
We've covered a lot of rumors lately. It shows you the fear out there. All right, Steph, thanks.
Reminds me of all those school bomb threats at the beginning of the year. Remember we were covering all the bomb threats. We'll keep this guy's photo up. We're going to call Magnolia up and get her take about these impersonators and just get her take real quick. keep the conversation going. We are covering the border migrant crisis at all angles, folks, at all angles. So stay with me. We're going to call and get Magnolia in the chat, the great Magnolia, who's running a great chat this evening. Long day. Whew. Long day. Hello, Magnolia.
Hello. Hi, everybody.
Hello. First off, I got this South Carolina kid, this idiot. What's your take about all these impersonators and fake ICE agents and fake border agents and everything like that?
Well, it's just unnecessary. I mean, it's someone earlier in the chat said that they wouldn't be surprised if these people were put up to doing this, which I had that thought too. It's like right now we're seeing these mass ICE raids all over the place, and people, it's a controversial topic, and so I think impersonating an ICE agent to make ICE itself look bad isn't really that crazy to imagine. So, but if these people genuinely just did this all on their own, I mean, something is seriously wrong with them.
Well, here's another thing, folks. Here's, and we're going to talk about this guy too, the Border Patrol agent guy. What about this Border Patrol agent guy? You think he was just trying to, what's that word? Cosplay? What, you think he's just trying to pretend to be cool? Because he can't really be one, so he's just pretending to be one. But I feel like he was trying to use that over a female officer to try to get with her, my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know how many times he was doing that. I mean, I think that what you're referring to was one instance where he asked if she wanted to hang out later or whatever. But there were other instances where he posed as a Border Patrol agent, asking people if they need help, asking officers if they need help, just pretending like he's a Border Patrol agent, LARPing, as you said before.
LARPing. Okay, so I said that correctly. He's a LARPer.
I guess he thinks it makes him look cool to be in a Border Patrol uniform. I guess maybe he thinks, I don't know. What do you think? He said he wanted to be a Border Patrol agent, but yeah, that shit might have sailed for him, unfortunately.
So you got that guy, this guy, this guy. Any comment on this guy from the University of Temple? You think this was just a prank? These guys running around just saying, "We're ICE, we're ICE, you're under arrest." That's how I see it. Like more of like
the blonde.
Yeah, the blonde kid, the surfer dude. Yeah, surfer looking dude.
Yeah, I mean, he just seemed like, to me, he just seems like a run-of-the-mill racist or something. I mean, he wants to go up and instigate problems with migrants, harass the migrants, tell them to go back to their country, just basic low IQ type behavior. And we saw a lot of that on the border. There's certain content creators that did border coverage, and pretty much their whole shtick was harassing the migrants and stirring up conflict just for views or whatever. They would go out there with the sole purpose of instigating things with migrants.
Yeah, and they would get deplatformed, and YouTube would deplatform
on Twitter, and they lost their channels because of it. It's just unnecessary, and we have an agency, ICE, that is responsible for going and detaining these people. We don't need clowns like this pretending to be ICE just for clicks. They said that he was trying to pull a prank, or just he wanted to get clicks and views or whatever it was. But anyone who would think to do something like that, it's just unbecoming behavior to treat people that way. He doesn't know these migrants from Adam. You don't know these people's situation. You know, just going up and just picking someone at random and telling them to go back to Mexico, and you know, all this other kind of stuff is just completely ridiculous. And it makes the real work, you know, it kind of overshadows the real mission, which is to end human trafficking that's been happening at our border. That's the goal here. So, you know, you want to expose the people that are aiding and abetting this type of stuff. You don't go after the migrants themselves. We've said that 100 times. The migrants in all of this, some of them, you know, are genuinely criminals that are sneaking in here and trying to...
And terrorists.
...to people. But, you know, a lot of the people that come over, they're doing it because they were told to do it. They were told by the Cross and Catholic Charities and the travel agency in Turkey that they went to told them, hey, if you give us this money, we can get you into America and you're going to get all this free stuff. You know, anyone would do that. And that's what they were told, and that's what they did. So, you know, to go after and like harass these people is just ridiculous, and it serves no purpose. It just doesn't serve any purpose. And I hope that this person, that they actually prosecute him to the full extent. They need to make an example out of these guys, because this is the last thing that we need right now.
Well, yeah, because, you know, I'm saying, like, you know, and I support the mass deportations whatsoever. I don't support, I don't support in the course of, like, I don't support people getting killed for being in the country illegally. What I'm saying is, like, people getting shot, you know, like just shot on the spot, or, you know, harassed or dragged, you know, through the streets, parading like we got somebody, and just crazy stuff like that, right? Long as it's by the book, and long as it's humane, and you put people in cuffs and get them on a plane, I have no problem with that. But I am saying that we're one incident away from uproar and craziness, because there's a lot of people, as we saw, not a lot of people, but there's protests around the country. They're protesting ICE raids. They're also protesting Trump, Musk, and USAID. But I feel like it takes one actual Border Patrol agent or ICE agent or somebody to, you know, shoot or kill, you know, a migrant, and it just sets it lights a match. Like, we're on that edge right now, so we don't want that. You don't want that, because then it just, you know, we'll have these going back to like 2020 George Floyd type riots. You know, I don't want that. I don't want that.
Yeah.
Oh, going back to...
I mean, they're going to have to nip this in the bud, because you don't want other people thinking this is funny and going out there and doing it too. I mean, they need to let ICE do their job. The other thing is, with these migrants that you come across, you don't know their situation. I don't know their situation. He doesn't know their situation. They don't even know these people. So how can you just go after someone you don't know anything about them? The blonde-haired guy I'm talking about, all you see is someone with brown skin, and you think it's funny to go harass them in light of ICE raids happening around the country. It's just not funny. It's stupid. Knuckleheads.
It's the it's the same people that it's the same idiots on both during the election, on both the Trump side and the Biden side, that would go to sign waves and harass the other parties, you know?
Yeah.
Remember those idiots that would go to people are waiting in line and voting, and go and harass the people in line? To you remember those guys in Florida that were doing it, and just harassing everybody that was going in line, and just telling them, you know, he's screaming Trump, 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 but he's literally like harassing people in the line. Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
there's just no place for that. There's just no reason for it.
Going one more this guy here, we forgot what's your take on the African-American guy from North Carolina, Bennett here, the Raleigh man? I mean, this guy's a straight up criminal.
Oh yeah, he's violent. I'd say he's in the worst trouble of all of them.
All
since
of them.
he actually assaulted a woman. So, yeah, he's facing quite a bit of time.
Well, maybe not, because, you know, some of these policies and some of these idiots. Raleigh, what do you think? Raleigh? Yeah, just impersonate an agent and do an essay on a female. Yeah, we'll give you a year.
Yeah, I think he'll probably get more than that. Oh, Angie said she's in Raleigh.
Oh, Angie's in Raleigh.
Yeah, Angie. So he's one of the people. He impersonated an ICE agent, but he also assaulted a woman. Was it the woman that he assaulted? Was she a migrant?
They didn't say.
Okay.
I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of the impression I got, that he was more or less like pretending to detain her, and then he sexually assaulted her. So, yeah, he's facing quite a bit of time. It seems like he used the act of being a quote unquote agent in order to commit a serious crime against someone. So that's a lot. I think that's obviously a lot more serious than a couple of these other cases we're talking about, but still, the other cases, they're charged, so hopefully there is significant punishment that comes their way.
Well, he would be a candidate. He would be a prime candidate of what and I support the policy that Trump said in reference to violent U.S. citizens being deported to El Salvador to do prison time in a El Salvador prison. I support that. I support that policy 100%. The violent criminals in this country that have been given chance after chance after chance, been in and out of prison for 10, 20, 30 times. I 100% support U.S. citizens going and doing their time in another country. 100% support it. And he would be a prime candidate for that. He would be he would be the type that would do that, right? That would be the people that would get on, whether it's El Salvador or GITMO. I actually think there's going to be other countries that are going to get on board. I think our prison systems is going to significantly get the most violent of the violent criminals. I think are going to be sent to other countries. I really do. And I think the nonviolent ones, I really do believe that nonviolent offenders are going to get released from prison in this country in mass. I really do. I really do. Maybe on the federal level, because states really don't have to comply with feds whatsoever when it comes to their own criminal justice. But I think states are going to, follow the model. And I actually think some of these states are going to be in agreement with, what the federal government's doing and putting people over there in El Salvador. And I think states are going to work out contracts with foreign countries and send their worst of their worst. I really think it's happening. I think we're going to have fundamental change in the criminal justice system because, one, you deport them to another country, never let them back. And I think at that point, your citizenship is revoked. So even if they got out of prison, if they're 7, 20, 30 years, they can't come back into the United States of America ever again to commit any more crimes on victims. Because, I understand second chances. I understand third chances. I'm a proponent of 1, 2, 3 chances. But, after 3 or 4, particularly violent stuff, enough is enough. Enough is enough. I'm actually a proponent. If you do any violent crime, you should never go back to society. My opinion.
Yeah, I mean, logistically, it makes sense because one of the main issues that we've had is a lot of these criminal migrants that come in. They commit their crimes, and they may get arrested and they may get deported, but then they end up coming right back. And so the problem is, if you deport them back to their home country, you're taking the risk that they could potentially try to sneak back in. But if you instead send those people, specifically the ones that are the repeat offenders that are coming in and out of jail, probably in a sanctuary city, who for a fact they're not going to hold them, why would you deport them back to their country if you have a fear they could just come back? So logistically, it makes sense to have somewhere else that you can put those type of people, because you can't necessarily trust. Like if you deport someone to Venezuela, you can't trust that they're not going to come right back. So for certain situations, I think the El Salvador idea is good. The GITMO, it seems like they have the room, the space, and they're going to open that up. We've already seen that the first batch has been sent to GITMO. The first batch of criminal illegals arrived there, I think, yesterday. So that operation's underway.
Yeah, let me just give a description. And by the way, the people that are being sent to GITMO. Let me see if I can actually find a particular group of men that were put on the flights. Where's that image where those men were on the plane? It's all men. I haven't seen any women go to GITMO. Or any women chained crazy and put away. I haven't seen it. It's mostly the men, which are the criminals. The criminals. It's the criminals. It's not children. It's not women that haven't done anything wrong by just crossing the United States illegally. It's a crime. That's a crime, right? It's a crime. But, it's the most hardened criminals that you can't rehabilitate at all. That should not be in society whatsoever. That's who they're sending. And I'm in agreement with that. Listen, the hardened criminals are going to GITMO and they're going to go to El Salvador because the United States government doesn't trust sending them back to where they came from, their original country, because they'll probably just come right back. So send them and lock them up and put them in prison for a long, long time, or even at GITMO even for a year. Let them experience GITMO for a year.
Yeah, for people who aren't aware of this, one of the reasons that El Salvador has come up in the conversation as far as where we would send these types of criminals, the reason is because they recently had like a major crackdown on violent criminals in El Salvador. And you can see there's been even documentaries about the prison system that they've put together over the past several years, and it's full of what was it? I have a number here, 120,000 gang members.
Look, I'll show you a picture. Case in point, right here. There's a picture I'm showing.
So basically, what happened was the El Salvador president, they decided to basically just go ham on criminals. And so they pretty much went hog wild. And yeah, there it is. And they got this prison system. And so it's sort of world renowned now. And El Salvador, oddly enough, is a pretty safe country now, which has not been the case. I have a friend from El Salvador, actually, and his family came to the United States probably 20 years ago, I guess. And he always told me about how brutal it was in El Salvador, the crime there. It was a place he never wanted to go back to, but all of that has changed dramatically because of this prison that they have there now. And they just basically went bananas and just locked up everybody. And so they kind of have this model that they've been running for a few years now, and that's why they're coming into the conversation. Yeah, El Salvador is a lot nicer now, and my friend from El Salvador just went back to visit after over a decade, I think. So, yeah, a lot has changed there.
Yeah, so... and final thoughts, Magnolia, with the other clips that I played about the fake emails, the fake alerts people are getting, the fake ICE raids to school. What's your take on all that?
Yeah, I just think these people sound nuts, and we have to put a stop to it. We can't have people running around impersonating ICE agents. It's ridiculous. People can get hurt. Another thing that I thought of too is this guy that you're showing right now, the Temple University.
Nope, I'm showing.
Student.
Oh, I'll go back to him. Him right here, the Temple University student right here. Go ahead. What about the Temple? I'm showing him the Temple University student, the blonde hair. What about him?
Yeah, so I'm just saying, like, in his case, it seems like what he did was sort of a prank, and it was, sort of his own biases that he thought it would be funny to harass these people. Well, if he got charged, but just imagine when he gets out of jail, he could be a target. People could come after him for that stunt. So what I'm saying is, acting that way and doing this, trying to victimize people, could backfire. He could have people coming after him.
Well, he's already viral all over the place, but he could be on all these people's lists, right?
Well, yeah, because his crime, I doubt that he'll get a whole lot of jail time for it. But once he's not in jail and once he's just loose on the street, what's going to stop these people from getting revenge on him, right? So think about that too. That's another layer of this. If you're just going up harassing people for clicks, or you just think it's funny, those people can turn on you and get you back.
Yeah.
So he probably didn't think that through.
Probably didn't. Appreciate your intake. We just wanted to talk about this particular segment about the fake impersonators. Any final parting words, Magnolia?
No.
No. Thanks for the conversation.
All right.
All right, folks. We talked about 4 bozos here. This bozo, this bozo, this bozo, and this bozo. If there's any other bozos out there that are impersonating ICE agents, we will share and we will collect, and we'll probably be here next week doing this with another group of misfits. We say no to impersonation. Let Border Patrol and National Guard and police do their job. They do it quite well, and I think the reins are off for them to do a job effectively. So we are monitoring the situation. Thanks for spending time with us this evening. It is late. And anything else that breaks, you will hear it here on JLR Investigates. Look at that. Look at that. Look at that. The wonderful OJ spending time. I don't know if she's going through my laundry. I had a fresh load of laundry. You know, one thing about a cat, if you got a fresh load of laundry, I did some sweatshirts, I put them over there, I got to fold them. I should have folded them before I came online. But the cat goes right into the laundry. For some reason, they like that smell, that fresh smell, whatever like that. So cats like to bury their heads into my cat likes to bury her head into my clothing or my sheets and everything like that. I don't know why I talked about that, but we're reporting from the JLR Batcave right there. You see that JLR Investigates. We'll be around tomorrow, and then reporting on what's going on. Then we're headed up to New Orleans. So stay tuned for New Orleans. We got a lot of things going on in New Orleans. Plus, we're gonna go up to Pensacola. We're gonna see how Pensacola, what's going on there. Mexico Beach, Florida. They had a major hurricane years back, Michael. We're gonna go check that out, and we're going to go to New Orleans to cover the Super Bowl and out in the streets. Crazy times out in the streets. I think there's going to be protesting. I think there's going to be a lot of security, a lot of National Guard, a lot of crazy fans. President of the United States is going to be there. We're not going in the Super Bowl. I can't afford a $7,000 or $8,000 ticket, but we're going to be all outside. Live streaming, go in the French Quarter, seeing what's going on. So it'll be a fun weekend, and maybe possibly next week we do some snow chasing up in the Northeast. Big snows in the Northeast. So just giving you kind of a heads up on what we're doing. Sometimes I don't let people know what we're doing. Sometimes you never know where we show up. Kind of like, where's JLR Waldo? You guys be safe out there. If you do see someone that you suspect is in the United States illegally, don't go up to them. Don't go up to people or him or her. Don't go up to an individual. Just call law enforcement. Put it in law enforcement's hands. You don't want to be on those viral videos. You don't want to do something stupid. You don't want to be charged. Let law enforcement handle the situation. We cover true crime 24/7, 365. Have a good night, folks. Take care. We'll talk soon. JLR Investigates.